We reported Monday that Blinn College was on the verge of a major expansion to the west side of Bryan. Today, the college's Board of Trustees made that a reality. At a special meeting in Bryan, the board unanimously approved the purchase of 94 acres at the south corner of FM 2818 and Leonard Road. Ground could be broken later this year in the effort to alleviate the crush at the current Bryan campus at 29th Street and Villa Maria, which will still be used. Blinn says they are paying the Konecki family of Bryan $3.8 million for the land. Now comes the task of designing what will go on that property and figuring out how much that will cost. Blinn wants to develop a campus that could hold 10,000 to 15,000 students, and officials say they can develop and expand a variety of its programs as a result. The goal is to start hosting classes on the second campus in 2017. Right after the board meeting, I spoke with Sylvia McMullen, the president of Blinn's Bryan campus, now Campuses. With record enrollment of more than 13,000 students in Bryan, this, they say, was a needed expansion, and they have been looking at this particular property for a few months.
As we went through the process, we really began to identify what were the needs. We knew that there was crowding here on this campus, but we also went through a master planning process with a company called Boca Pal that said, okay, what you need to do is get some scheduling software that will help you ease some of the scheduling. Then look at maybe a already built building. So we went through that process, and then the final piece of that was then identifying land that we could build a future location. So what we began to do was then to look at what do we need to do on this campus. So we're moving some of our enrollment services to a new location to give us some renovations here, and then the final piece obviously is to find the land for the second campus expansion.
What was it about this property in particular that made this the best choice?
There are several factors that play into that. The fact that it has access on 2818 directly down to Texas A&M, since many of our students, maybe as many as 5,000 of our students are taking classes at both institutions. It goes beyond just our team students, but to students that are taking classes at both. So we looked at that. We looked at, what kind of, we wouldn't disturb other neighborhoods. We were looking at where could future development be, because we really, here this is a commuter campus. We don't have housing, we don't have major food service except what we have in our facilities. So we were looking at some place that could add those kinds of things around us, and yet this could be a master planned campus that would enable us. These are 50 to 100 year kinds of decisions. You didn't want to make this such that it was landlocked and would not have the ability to expand and grow.
The same questions that popped up when you guys were looking at the College Station Highway 6 location, I'm assuming, are popping up here. How do you divide what's here and move things to that campus? Students, I'm sure, will have questions about, hey, I've got a class here, but might have to go across there. What process is that going to be like?
Well, obviously, those are the kinds of things over the next several months that we will actually be taking a hard look at, is how do we make those determinations about what that will be. One of the things that's driving us in terms of what will be in facilities is our need for lab space. I think that's really kind of true with most community colleges and four-year institutions. So we're really driven by those STEM areas, but that does not mean that we won't have other classes there. So we're really trying to look at how do we maximize the use of both of these campuses, as well as our health science center, because that allied health program is one of our strongest state-of-the-art programs that exist, and we need to make sure that we encompass all of that in our thinking about how we grow and how it serves the needs for our students in the future.
The projection is that the 94 acres would hold 10,000 to 15,000 students when it's all said and done. How fast are you guys planning on getting 10,000 to 15,000 more students into this college?
Well, that really is almost dependent upon them. What we have seen over the last several years is that as we opened up classes, they filled. We really do not know what our cap is. So when we say that, we can say that our projections are based on, but we've never been able to offer a history class that didn't fill up. So right now we don't know. We have 3 chemistry labs that exist on this campus. They run 19 sections each, in all of them from 7:45 to 9:45 every day. So we know that we can fill chemistry. With our partnership with Texas A&M, we're actually doing chemistry for engineers, and so other chemistry classes are being slided. So being able to offer chemistry, we don't know where the top is on that. So when we say that, we don't know if there will be a bump when that happens, or if that will actually, level off at some point. We're just going to have to see.
How much additional employment could this involve, or is it any at this point?
Well, if you were to think about it in terms of comparison to this campus, we have approximately 700 full and part-time faculty and an additional 300 staff that occupy this campus to serve 14,000 students. So if you can take those same kinds of numbers, it's not an exact duplication, because many of those are like our enrollment services and front end and those kinds of things. But if you're looking at our faculty, you're probably looking at a number in that 600 to 700 range once you get up to full steam and running.